Hori is a famous girl in her school. A boy comes to her at the beginning of the story and says that his friend needs her number. But Hori doesn't like such guys who pretend to be friendly in disguise. Hori's friend Ishikamo tells her to go to the concert with all his friends, but Hori finds it unnecessary, so he votes no and begins to leave since she has some work. In a hurry, a notebook falls out of Hori's bag, which a stranger boy picks up and returns to her. The guy's name is Miyamura. There is a rumor about him that he likes anime girls. Although due to his quiet nature, Miyamura is a mystery to everyone, and no one knows if he even has any friends. Just as they are leaving, her friends suggest that maybe she's too eager to meet her boyfriend. Hearing this, an expression of jealousy is clearly visible on Ishikawa's face. The reason for Hori's early return home is not her boyfriend, but her younger brother named Suta, because their mom stays busy with work.
It's too nice for her own good. I wish she'd learn how to say no to people.
Furthermore, during holidays, she has to take care of both the house and her younger brother equally. One day, while playing, he got hurt on his nose, and seeing the blood coming out of his nose, Hori didn't pay much attention to the boy who was with Suta. She realizes later that it is none other than Miyamura. Then he says that he was running away from the dog. When she was thanking him for it, Miyamura welcomed her by taking Hori's name. Hori feels a little strange because he still doesn't recognize Miyamura. When Miyamura told him about her reality, the color of Hori's face faded, and she couldn't understand why that boy could be his classmate. The next day, Hori invites Miyamura again at home, so that her younger brother can also be happy. He thought that she would behave the same as him like always, but getting the invite, a faint smile appeared on Miyamura's face. The relationship between Miyamura and the girls was quite far, but Hori praised his smile and also gave him some fashion advice.
I just noticed how nice your smile is.
Huh?
You should wear your hair up more often. Maybe lose the glasses too. Don't you think?
So that Miyamura looks handsome in school too. It is known in their next meeting that Miyamura is very fond of manga, and his interest is also quite high for the manga girls. Miyamura has 9 piercings on his body, and despite looking intelligent, he is an average student. Normally boys with glasses are intelligent, but his case was somewhat different. They get the news of this big sale of eggs. Hori's eyes suddenly fall on Miyamura's deep blue eyes, and she is lost in them. Unfortunately, Hori couldn't go to the sale, so after school, Miyamura had to go to the market to buy eggs in the hot summer. Miyamura meets Hori's friend on the way, who couldn't recognize him at all. Even Hori doesn't want anyone to know this side of him. He then praises Hori's out-of-school personality. She cooks diligently and takes full responsibility for the household. Her skills are commendable. However, it was really embarrassing for Hori to be praised like that.
I told you to stop talking 10 seconds ago!
Suta mentioned that whenever the word dummy comes up, Hori repeats it multiple times. Miyamura hence gets a new way to annoy Hori. They get to know that it is sports class today in school, including swimming and marathon competitions. However, Miyamura's body is covered in tattoos, hiding his true identity. Participating in swimming might reveal his reality to everyone, and wearing a jacket in such heat isn't a good idea either. Yuki and Ishikawa are surprised to see them talking together. He gathers his courage and asks Miyamura if they are dating. Miyamura firmly denies it, saying their pairing could never happen. Seeing the wins of Ishikawa, it seems even he has some feelings for Hori. His face turns blue as she wants to keep the matter secret. He then questions why Miyamura always wears a full jacket, especially in such heat. Miyamura puts his shirt on in front of Ishikawa.
Ta-da.
Are those things real? You're only a teenager and you've gotten that much ink done?
Asking him to promise to keep the matter secret. Suddenly, Ishikawa starts removing Miyamura's hair, gazing at his glowing face. He wants to see what's so special about him. That Hori's fascination with him grows. He further also wonders why he got so many tattoos, if he wanted to keep them hidden. Miyamura confuses him further, and says he and Hori are just good friends. After the class, both of them plan to meet again. Hori is happy to see Miyamura making new friends, but he is also afraid that the story of Hori and Ishikawa might start. On the other hand, Ishikawa might easily create a gap in their relationship and separate them again. This time, Ishikawa finally confesses his feelings for Hori. So in the evening, Hori says to Miyamura, in anger, says he will have to vomit everything he told him. Miyamura says that he did not want her name to be defamed. She snaps and asks him not to use his brain more.
If you ever stop coming to my house, coming around to wake me up when I fall asleep watching movies, who'd eat your portion of dinner?
Hori.
I'd have a fridge full of leftovers!
She also warns him that if he stops coming to his house, then the remaining food will be wasted. When Hori wanted to know Miyamura's opinion, he began praising Ishikawa. Then Hori said, "If you like him so much, why don't you go out with him?" The next day at school, Ishikawa apologizes to Miyamura for telling his secret to Hori. Miyamura no longer wants others to make fun of Hori because of this. Seeing them talk like this, Hori says they both are soon going to date. Hearing this, there is visible confusion on Yuki's face. While returning home from the market, some anime posts catch Hori's eye, and she starts humming their theme song. Upon hearing this, Miyamura compliments her voice, but due to embarrassment, Hori says that he isn't interested in any anime cartoons. His brother could be into that.
But Sota's all about it, and he plays it so much, even I know the lyrics now.
That's fair enough.
So, when asked about his favorite song lyrics, Hori said she couldn't recall any latest songs, but in reality, she remembered the line for every song. One day, when Hori's mother learns about Miyamura's regular visits to their home, she becomes excited to see him and asks to meet him. Answering some questions from her mom, Hori realizes that despite spending so many days, she still doesn't know Miyamura's first name. Instead of asking Miyamura directly, she tries to find out Miyamura's name from the attendance register and his friends. But even searching the depths of the school, Hori doesn't find Miyamura's name. Today, it's a holiday for their school, and Hori's mom is excited as Miyamura is coming to their house. Hori thinks that Miyamura will surely introduce himself to her mom for the first time. As Miyamura returns from the market, he brings a gift for her mom. Seeing the gift, her mom feels shy like a new bride and quickly thanks him for the gift, then rushes back to her work.
But I sadly have to get back to work.
That's okay. I'll be heading out soon too.
Just then, coming back from the market, without seeing Miyamura, Suta tells his sister that his mother has left for work. So now how will their plan to know Miyamura's name succeed? Her mom, returning in some time, sends Hori to buy vegetables so they can have some time alone with Miyamura to talk. Hori thinks that her mom probably knows Miyamura's first name. Her mood has become quite irritable. Miyamura doesn't understand why she has changed so much today. When he finds out the reason behind all this, Miyamura starts laughing. Hori uses Suta to vent her anger. That's when Miyamura writes his full name on a piece of paper and hands it to her, which says, Miyamura. Now, Hori is becoming used to his name and will never forget it. However, Hori counterattacks him, asking if he knows her full name. And when Miyamura calls her by her full name, Hori feels foolish herself. Being a member of the student council, Hori had a workload. According to Yuki, they are using Hori. But it doesn't seem to make much of a difference to Hori.
They're 100% using her and she's okay with it?
Miyamura thinks that she likes President Sengoku, so she does every student council's task without winning them. While leaving for the library, Miyamura's confrontation with Ayasaki, who is Sengoku's girlfriend, occurs. That makes her drop all her important notebooks, and she leaves one with Miyamura out of haste. The next day, the president screams at Hori because she gave her task to someone else, and now the budget notebook is missing. She pretends to be innocent and quietly slips away. The president wants to apologize in front of all the kids during Hori for his mistake. Meanwhile, Miyamura arrives there, picks up his bag, and stands in front of the president facing him. He holds the president by his collar, and the budget book is placed in his hand. He explains how Ayasaki dropped the book out of her negligence.
It was left behind in the hall yesterday. Ayasaki said I should trash it because it wasn't important.
After all this, the president had to apologize to Hori. Ishikawa, however, didn't appreciate this little brawl by him. He said, maybe the president knows the secret of Hori's status. Otherwise, why would she do so much for him? Hori used to say that they were both good friends before and treated each other like animals in childhood. One day, Sengoku decides to take revenge on her, so he tries hard to make her miserable. In these holidays, Hori's birthday is also coming up. Ishikawa hasn't thought about what to give her a gift yet. He thought about the last time when he could not convince her to go out with him. Miyamura is quite excited about her birthday, and Hori is also happy because this time Miyamura will be with her. Hori said that Miyamura was coming to meet me until graduation, and then both the brother and sister became sad. Eventually, Hori's birthday arrives, and he gives her a CD as a gift.
I didn't say a word, but he somehow knew this was what I wanted. Such a weirdo.
Miyamura has always been a loner child. He was always left alone in group assignments, considered foolish and disgusting, and going to school was difficult for him. But in high school, he found his first friend. Miyamura was a normal boy for Hori, and she didn't see him as an alien. After a few days, the holidays end, and all the kids are assigned to their classes. Yuki and Hori are in class 1, and Ishikawa wants Miyamura not to be in the same class, but they end up in the same class. Shikamaru starts to misunderstand both of them and considers their friendship an illegitimate relationship. Miyamura and his friends study together, and Miyamura starts to consider himself lucky. Ishikawa noticed when Miyamura was looking at the wind, she said, "Why are you always so serious, as if you're still carrying a burden?" Shikamaru said, "When you shake your hair, you look more beautiful than girls." He didn't know if he was complimenting her or flirting with her again.
So I'm a pretty boy?
Ah, that's another thing! You make me say the dumbest shit without even realizing it, and it drives me freaking crazy!
That's my fault!
Miyamura looks different from others in Ishikawa. Miyamura was thinking that if he could take him back 10 years ago and show him his condition. Seeing Hori sitting alone, Ishikawa goes to her to ask about their relationship, and then she says that they are just good friends. Then she asks if she can make Miyamura her boyfriend. But Hori gets angry after hearing her words and tells her to stay away from him, saying that he prefers being alone. Sometime later, Hori realized that she might have overreacted. Everyone has the right to make him their friend. That day, Suta had extra basketball classes. Hence, Hori gets plenty of time to spend with Miyamura. They watched some scary movies together, and he noticed that there was only one joint in Hori's fingers. Hori then says that even she likes Miyamura's soft hands.
I like you. Your hands. I really like your hands.
And Hori's shame ruined this embarrassing moment. When Hori was telling this to her friends, Ishikawa heard everything. That day, both his and Miyamura's face had some bruises, as if they both had been beaten up. Everyone wants to know who is behind their condition. When Ishikawa heard about Hori, he persuaded him to tell the truth. He asked him what his reaction would be if he went to Hori and proposed to her. The only answer was that he was nothing more than a friend, and he had told her the same thing. Hearing this, Ishikawa slapped Miyamura's face on the bench, and in return, Miyamura delivered a kick to his face. After that, he started begging for forgiveness, and Miyamura had to let him go. As he was going to his class, then suddenly some papers were in front of him. They realized it was of Kono. Ishikawa praised Kono because when everyone were enjoying, she was working.
Don't see many people working their butts off and no one's around to watch.
What? That's cool?
Then she offers him some ice cream, which she rejects. Then Miyamura asked Ishikawa the same, but he rejected it too, seeing the flavors. They met Sengoku on the way and offered him some ice cream too. He in turn offered them to come and rest in the president's room. But they both brought Hori and Yuki along too, which Sengoku didn't like. When Hori and Miyamura came out to get cold drinks, Ishikawa asked if they were dating. Then, from his reaction, they realized that he also liked Hori. Hori and Miyamura were taking a bit too much time. They were wondering if both of them have gone to a different place. Hearing this, Ishikawa started showing visible signs of jealousy. He started showing all his frustration on the cold drink plus can, and embarrassed himself. Kuno gave him a handkerchief to wipe himself clean of the drink. When Miyamura and Hori were alone, Hori suddenly expressed a desire to see his tattoos.
Can I see your tattoos, please?
Of course.
Seriously?
Upon hearing this, he started to take off his clothes without thinking, but Hori stopped him and said that he had seen tattoos before and he was just joking. She was eager to know, what is it that makes him feel embarrassed? Shindu Miyamura's childhood friend wanted to know who his new girlfriend is, and this time he sent a photo of him on a date with his girlfriend, and he is planning a double date soon. Miyamura, seeing the texts, calls him back and asks him to go to hell. In the evening, when Hori was bringing groceries from the market, she started feeling unwell on the way, perhaps due to yesterday's air conditioning. At that time, Miyamura and Ishikawa are also in the market, and they see a guy with Hori and they stop there. Miyamura goes to the guy and slaps him hard.
How are you doing, Shingo? He punched that dude with zero hesitation.
But he realizes it his friend who was introducing himself to Hori. Miyamura says he is his middle school friend. He wants to now transfer himself to Miyamura's high school. Then some memories of Miyamura's childhood are shown, when he met him for the first time. However, all of Shindu's friends used to tell him to stay away from Miyamura, but he also did not judge him due to his looks. When Hori's health was bad, she was still insisting on going to school, but Suta advised her to rest and relax. Now he has become quite intelligent. He is the one to take care of her. There was no one before. But now he has Miyamura, who needs to take care of him very well. When Miyamura started going out, Hori started to stop him, and she fell. So Miyamura decided to stop there, and he was needed. He decided to stay there until and unless she was well. Seeing her fever rise, he called his mom and asked her to be home as soon as possible. Even Ishikawa was also aware of it. When Hori was sleeping, he told her whatever he was harboring in his heart.
I'm in love with you, Hori. Have been for a while.
But when she was up, Miyamura was already gone from there. Hori thought this might be a delusion. Hori, after all, this decided to take a leave. She really didn't want to face Miyamura at this moment. She was even lacking the guts to drop him a text. That day, however, Suta saw Miyamura on the roads. However, he was with some other girl. Suta, without wasting any time, went ahead and told Hori. He also said that the girl was wearing a uniform of a different school. Hearing this, Hori started to worry. She thinks that she is being betrayed by him, and she even drops her ice cream, since her mind was still stuck on that girl. Hori was impatient to call Miyamura, but she was hesitant. After reaching school, she greeted Ishikawa, which made him excited. However, she ignored Miyamura. He was unable to understand what she wanted. They were almost playing a game of hide and seek throughout the entire school.
Hori?
However, he caught hold of her at last. He said that day you were awake, and in between this Hori suddenly mentioned that girl. He says that the girl's name is Chika, who is Sindhu's girlfriend, who had injured his ankle. Hence, she had to support them. Hearing this, she smashed a book on Miyamura's face. Then she says, "Why didn't you tell me about this earlier?" When it was time for Miyamura to come home in the evening, she started trying to hide from him, but before she could do anything, he came inside. Now she can't hide from him. He gave away the homework, and she told him that she heard whatever he said that day. They both apologized to each other. A strange man enters the house and starts asking about Miyamura.
So what's this dude doing here? You have piercings? Mind if I touch your...
He was Hori's dad who liked Miyamura's eyes a lot. To stop her, Dad Hori changes the picture, and he doubts whether they are dating or not. He says, "Just look at his hair, how long it is." So why does Hori insist he look at a mirror before saying so? He takes a few bobby pins and starts managing his hair. Hori's mom returns home in the meantime. She apologizes to Miyamura for his behavior, but he assures that it is all fine. Miyamura grabs hold of Hori's hand and starts his efforts to know her. Later, he even thanks her, but he lacks the courage to ask her to meet him again. This entire series of events reaches Ishikawa's ear, and he says that it doesn't really matter, but it was eating him up from the inside. He wonders why she still chooses Miyamura, even though he is closest with Hori. Kuno notices that Ishikawa is sad and worried. She is then suddenly met by Ayasaki, who asks her why is she so worried.
What was out that window?
Nothing. Just drop it.
Yeah, right.
Kuno becomes flustered and says that is nothing, but it was evident that she was hiding something. Kuno wished that if only she was as pretty as Ayasaki. She could have confessed her true feelings to Ishikawa. However, this turns into a quarrel between them both. which made Kuno realize that what matters to her is Ayasaki's friendship and not her beauty. She runs to her and tells her about it. She says that she likes someone, but is very concerned about how she looks. But Ayasaki assures her that she is very cute. While meeting Ishikawa, Miyamura realizes that he might be worried, but instead, Ishikawa tries to appease their friendship. In the evening, Hori says that Suta's friend will come over. She says that his name is Izumi, which is also Miyamura's first name to avoid any confusion. She calls him Dummy Izumi.
Dummy Izumi.
You know, I like the sound of that. But maybe next time try it without the dummy.
He says that it is better if he not called a dummy. Suta returns home by that time and thinks that someone needs help. He sees that his father is still inside their house. He asks when is he leaving, which pains him a bit. He wasn't like everyone's changed behavior towards him. Even Hori's mom kept asking when is his work going to resume. At that moment, Hori returns with Miyamura. Kyosuke starts admiring Miyamura's face again. However, Miyamura was very tired and was also sweating. Hence, Kyosuke took him for a shower. He also asked him to stay for the night. However, Hori's mom rebuked the idea. She said that they have no as such empty room to accommodate him. Then suddenly, Suta says he can sleep with him. But Kyosuke takes him to his room to sleep. In the morning, two students see Hori and Miyamura leave together from their house.
That can't be right. They just came out of the same house together.
They spread a rumor that both of them are now dating. The entire school is surprised that how a guy like him could bag someone as pretty as her. Miyamura got so tired of all these. He was also unwilling to hear rebukes about Hori. Miyamura decided to rake a stand. He gets himself a makeover and enters the school in a very stylish way. He started getting so much attention that he had never gotten in his entire life. However, was not happy with it since every girl was giving him attention. Kyosuke couldn't recognize him, and Shindu started crying, telling him he will always miss his long hair. He then fed Shindu a candy, which he couldn't even refuse in a situation like this. Since he couldn't find any candy for Hori, he gave his candy to her. Miyamura and Ishikawa noticed a new girl in school, whose name is Sawada. She started following Miyamura and asking, when is he going to break up with Hori?
You tell me when you're gonna break up with Hori this instant!
Hori, hearing this, was furious, but still Sawada kept following them. She then suddenly hugged Hori. No one could have thought that she liked Hori and Miyamura. She further said, there is nothing in Miyamura. Miyamura assessed the situation and decided to run from there. Once again, he thought he is being followed by her. However, he noticed that she lived in the same building as her. However, she had forgotten her key. He decided to give her shelter for some time. They started watching a movie. They see in the movie a girl who had a fight with her father and tries to teach him a lesson. Even before this happens with Kyosuke, in reality he escapes. However, Hori doesn't let him go easy and gives him a handful. However, ever since Hori and Miyamura started getting close, Yuki and Ishikawa have also started getting close. Ishikawa and her suddenly witness Kuno, whose dress gets spoiled by Ishikawa's coffee.
Did you tune me out?
Nah, I heard you loud and clear. Plus, I don't think I could ignore you.
Oh no!
However, then he runs to fetch a jacket for her. After Kuno's inquiring, she tells her that they are not dating. Then Kuno starts asking Sanguko what he is like in Ayasaki. But he replied a weird thing that he likes depending on her. Also, she is the one who inspires him to be strong. Kuno noticed that Ayasaki does the same with her. To assert her personality, Kuno returns Ishikawa's jacket with a few cookies. He loved those cookies. He couldn't stop praising her. She seemed very happy. However, Yuki is the one who likes to keep everything private. She likes to keep her dislikes and likes to herself only. Due to this, she has also lost important things in her life. Hori notices that Yuki and Ishikawa are spending a lot of time together these days, especially after Konu gave Ishikawa the cupcakes. Hence, Yuki also learned to make cakes, and in 7 days, she excelled in it. However, nobody could actually make out that it was a cake or something else.
They're cupcakes, right?
If you can't even tell that much, then they're worse than I thought.
She has never shared her hobbies with Ishikawa. However, he heard her and also tasted the cakes. Everyone started preparing religiously for the next street competition. However, Miyamura was absent from school at a stretch because he was busy with his family affairs. However, even before he could post this on his socials, his battery ran out. Furthermore, he forgot his charger. On the other hand, it was very difficult for Hori to pass her days without him. She has now started worrying about him. She even saw that it had been 3 days and he hadn't even changed his status. Finally, the day comes when Miyamura is set to return. After waiting for a long time when he doesn't turn up, Hori ends up at his place. The moment he returned and saw Hori's message on his phone, after charging it, he rushed to her place. The moment she saw him, she melted into his embrace. She started saying how difficult it was for her to spend those 5 days. The girls from the student council started advising Hori on how to be closer to Miyamura. She started thinking, what if he dumps her since he is now the famous one?
A few words of advice. Ditch the scary stuff before he ditches you. It's only a matter of time.
Hence, she decided she would watch a horror film with him. With that, if she is scared, he can protect her in his embrace. However, things were completely reversed, and instead of Hori, it was Miyamura who was scared. She then thinks she might not be that pretty to keep Miyamura with her. However, he assures them that he likes her the way she is, and she says the same. She says, I like the long-haired sort of chickened Miyamura. At that moment, Suta comes in to show Hori a drawing. However, she is more inclined toward Miyamura. Hence, Suta felt a bit rejected. However, Miyamura assured him that he was not taking his sister anywhere. Before she is my friend, she is your sister. Also, he tells him that he can consider him his big brother. The guy Ayasaki is in love with is a bit tricky. The president is incapable of following his duties. He also asserted that he is not even that good at athletics. However, he keeps trying his level best to excel. The students try their best too, to keep encouraging him. However, he is just incapable of convincing himself.
Boys and girls alike can't help but fawn over him, and their adoration makes him happy. However, it sometimes makes him feel anxious too.
However he is, Ayasaki always sticks to his side. Sengoku has tried multiple times to kill his fear for her sake. When they had first met, Ayasaki being non-conventional is what attracted him toward her. Since he never judges any girl based on her looks, he treats everyone the same. He had given Ayasaki a manga to read. Kunu also wanted to read. Hence, Sengoku without hesitation said she can read it next after her. Ayasaki read all the books he had given so that she can assess his collection. She saw one book known as The Last Day of the World. She decided to take the book home. She returned all the books the next day. Girls usually like guys who don't keep pestering them. However, Ayasaki was smitten by Sengoku. That night, she again asked to go over to his. Obviously for books.
Would it be cool if I came over to your place again today?
She asked him what he would do actually if it is his last day on the planet. He says he will confess his true feelings to her, and he will. Ayasaki thought he was joking, but his face implied otherwise. She asserted that he won't be the only one doing so. She accepted that even she felt for him. Sengoku never considered anybody else's opinion when it came to her. Ayasaki was obsessed with this when it came to him. Sengoku was her life. On the other hand, Hori tries really hard to irritate Miyamura. She put his feet on her head so that he could apply polish on it. However, as happy as he seems with Shindu, he does not appear so with Hori. Hence, Hori came up with a new game in her mind to get closer to him. However, when Miyamura comes to school the next day, he started behaving strangely. He was rude to everyone, including his friends.
Up! You fellas doing good? Not that I care.
Okay.
Shindu started asking Ishikawa what is happening, and even he was as clueless. However, without worrying his friends more, he says that Hori is making him do all this. Miyamura understood that he has no leadership qualities in him, but he could try once for Hori's sake. Seeing Hori being bored, Miyamura got mischievous, and they both started having fun. Seeing that 2 girls got scared, a boy proposed to Yuki, but Yuki didn't know what answer to give her. Seeing the guy's seriousness, Yuki hesitated a bit to say sorry to her. That's when Miyamura calls Ishikawa and suggests he to pretend to be her fake boyfriend tomorrow. He does exactly that. Hori suggests she will be the best friend and cheers from the window. Yuki wanted Ishikawa to stand beside her. Just then, the boy comes there. His name is Yanagi, who is a student of class 6. Although seeing Ishikawa standing next to Yuki, he understands that Yuki is not single.
I see. You're taken.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But he is waiting for him to say something so that he can respond to it. Yanagi goes back, crying. Ishikawa then asks her, why did you let go of such a handsome boy like this? She further explained that he is a strange boy who keeps banging his head against the walls repeatedly, but still doesn't wear glasses. But whatever it is, he's handsome. After school, she went back to Yuki once again and said that if you thought I had a boyfriend, then that's not the case. And if you want, you can continue the conversation. But Yanagi doubted that this is a setup by his classmates, and she knew about his weak eyesight. He mentioned that he was watching Yuki for a few days. When he met her friends again, he couldn't recognize their faces properly either. Furthermore, after talking for so long, he forgot about Ishikawa too. The girls flocking around Miyamura started praising his hairstyle. However, Hori was getting bothered after seeing all this. Hence, when he saw Hori all angry, he got a bit scared. Hori, however, kept it in her and left from there. However, Miyamura started following her.
Miyamura? It is you.
On the way, we get to see some other friends of Miyamura. Tanihara is the same guy who stopped Shindu from meeting Miyamura. He once again pokes fun of his hairstyle. He further calls Hori stupid for carrying his bag. When the rebukes don't stop by him, Hori, hearing this, becomes all flustered. She then says, "If you are done now, I will show you something." It was evident from her face that Tanihara was taken aback. Shindu wanted to know who had finally gotten back at Tanihara. When he gets to know about the situation, he refrains Tanihara from teasing Miyamura like he did as a kid. He further explains that from the moment he has met Hori, things have changed. However, Tanihara doubted that if Hori is even his girlfriend or not. He wanted Miyamura out of her heart. Miyamura considers himself lucky that someone is now there to have his back. Hori once again thinks about role-playing, and she lightly slaps Miyamura. He, however, ignores it. Shindu appears there.
She's all but down on her knees, so why keep denying her?
Where the hell did you come from, Shindo?
And tells Hori she can do anything she wants, which Miyamura finds it to be useless. After Shindu starts pestering on this, Miyamura grabs Hori and takes her out of there. Exactly like how Hori wanted. One evening, once again, Hori encounters Tanihara's group. She asked them to get away, but one guy there asserted they will do as they please. However, Tanihara asks him to keep quiet and tells Hori that they have only come to clean. Miyamura comes there, and to assert his manliness, he takes Hori out of there. Hori quite liked his transformed appearance. Seeing him like this, even his classmates were quiet. Miyamura later remembers that he had kept his phone in the science lab. He finds Mizusi there, who seemed to be looking at Hori's photo on his phone. When he tried calling Miyamura's phone to find it, coincidentally, it fell from his pocket itself.
Found it.
Seeing this, Mizusi gets angry about how can Hori like someone as stupid as him. When Hori comes and makes fun of him, Miyamura stops her and rebukes her. He says not to cross his path like this. However, Hori loves this side of him. Seeing this, Mizusi also realizes that Miyamura has a flush of confidence now. Miyamura was haunting Tanihara in his dream. He tried calling him, but there was no response. He thought Miyamura was ignoring him intentionally. He visits Miyamura's shop and finds out that he has broken his phone. Tanihara, however, thought Miyamura is just finding ways to ignore him. He used to do the same to him in middle school. He wanted to apologize, but he lacked the courage. He tried talking to him, but then Hori threatened him to not even go near him.
Listen, you! If you think I'm gonna let you steal my boyfriend, think again!
I just said hey and now my boyfriend
You do much weirder stuff than say hey and you know it!
Tanihara then later says to prove his point that Shindu is 10 times worse than him. Hori asks Miyamura if he loves Shindu, and out of the blue Shindu holds Miyamura like as if they are dating. Sensing the situation being heated, Tanihara takes Shindu away with him. Hori's insecurity heightens knowing she is at risk, even with guys. Hori asks Miyamura to promise her that never to indulge with a man in an affair. To keep her word, Miyamura asks his friends to stay away from him. Yuki goes to the market and meets Yanagi there. This time he was wearing glasses. Yuki's sister couldn't believe that she had such handsome friends. Yuki says that she has already rejected him. To talk to Yuki after school was a dream come true for Yanagi. However, he is reminded of Ishikawa and he goes out from there. Like everyone else, even Kuno thought that Yuki and Ishikawa were dating. However, Yuki told the truth and cleared the air. Ishikawa liked it. Everyone noticed that Yuki didn't turn up to school for the last 2 days.
Yuki was absent yet again.
Jeez, how many days is that?
3, I think? Or 4? However long it's been, I don't like it one bit.
Ishikawa tried to know about her situation, but he couldn't, since Yuki kept things personal, which could also be the reason that she might end up crying all her life. Yuki's friends hate this habit of hers. However, Yuki decided that she would change her behavior and open up. She read Ishikawa's message and said Kyono told her feelings. Once Yuki was in school, Ishikawa asked her to meet him alone and wanted to know about Kuno. There was already a rumor going on that Ishikawa and Yuki were dating. Yuki first tells Ishikawa that he deserves a better girl than Kuno. Then she says mentions about the cookies. Yuki confessed her feelings to him finally.
It's because she bought into that rumor about us dating and thinks that I'm taken. She confessed anyway to get it off her chest.
However, hearing them talk made Kuno feel sad. Sengoku saw her leave sadly. He understood that she has been brutally heartbroken. He said to Kuno that whoever rejected her didn't do right. Hearing this, she burst into tears. Yanagi had started making new friends. He said this time these bonds would be unbreakable, and Miyamura had also included him in the group. Miyamura tries to check the comfort level of him and Suwada, but then he says Iura will be the perfect one for him. One day, he had helped Suwada to pick up some heavy baggage. Suwada thought that this guy couldn't be trusted. But when Yanagi leaves without saying anything, Hori and Yuki think that Iura is unwell, which he was hiding from them. The next day, when Suwada was watching over Iura, then Kuno said to come and talk face to face. Iura also appears there. This makes Suwada feel a bit awkward. Iura's sister was lagging in her studies, hence he wanted Hori to help her so that she can pass.
Hey, you ready to study? Your brother already filled me in. Come on in, Motoko.
He also got a lucky charm for his sister to excel. Furthermore, Ishikawa finally accepts that his feelings for Yuki are nothing but true. It is not only limited to acting. Sengoku became the love preacher and kept telling Ishikawa how to win over Yuki. But even before he could say something to Yuki, Yuki came to him and asked him out. Later, they decided they would complete the game they had left in between. He locks the door in the room and starts opening his tie. Yuki, realizing his intentions, asks him to stop, but it is a part of this daily ritual. Ayasaki wanted to call Sengoku to her place at Christmas. However, when he rejected him, she was heartbroken. However, Miyamura and his friends consoled her. When they reach Ayasaki's place, they could find big beetles on her bead. But, however, Kuno had already given a heads up about this. Miyamura, being busy in his bakery shop, still decided to celebrate Christmas with Hori and her family.
Oh, it's a Christmas miracle!
Merry Christmas, guys.
You're here! Come play cards! It's real.
Hori wanted to talk to him alone. She discussed her graduation plans with him. A few days ago, she had decided she wanted to spend the rest of his life with him. However, unable to control his emotions, Miyamura proposed Hori. Hori was very happy because he was the one she always wanted to see at the beginning and at the end of the year. Miyamura promised that they would always celebrate it like this. After graduation is completed, Hori and her friends are shown taking out things from their lockers. They all are now going to start a new chapter. Aisaki suggested they should go on a road trip before the final goodbye. But once they get their driving license, everyone was excited about the new challenges that were coming for them. Miyamura realized that life will never be constant, and it will be full of changes. Suwada was very sad saying goodbye to Hori, but Hori assured her that they would keep on meeting. Kuno shook hands with Ishikawa and thanked him for the sweet memories. Yanagi wanted to go on a trip with Yuki, but Yuki said only if he wears his glasses. Miyamura considered himself lucky because he could celebrate his farewell with his father-in-law. He was also grateful for Hori and all the emotions he could feel because of her. he will forever be grateful. That is it for this season. If you liked this season, then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment to let us know if you want to see the next season.